Hey friends, Lindsay here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a fabulous and crafty day. Today we're going to be talking about how to press HTV onto a t-shirt. So for you beginners out there, definitely stick around because we are going to be walking step by step of how to press HTV onto a t-shirt using a heat press. But for you veterans out there, you t-shirt making veterans, definitely stick around as well because there may be some tips and tricks that you have never heard before, or maybe just need a little bit of a reminder to help you to make your t-shirt making game super awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first place we're going to start is with HTV. And where do you even start with picking it out? Because there are so many kinds and are so many brands out there. If you're a brand new beginner, a great place to start is with Caesar Easy Weed, which is what I'm going to be using in today's video. And I have posted a link in the video description if you want to check out where you can purchase some Caesar Easy Weed HTV. Now, whatever HTV you do end up going with, you definitely want to become familiar with the manufacturer's recommendations for application. So you'll usually find this on the manufacturer's website. Caesar makes it easy because you can find it on their website, and they actually have a mobile app that you can download on your phone. And from there, you want to find out the recommendations for time, temperature, recommended amount of pressure when applying the HTV, and then also whether or not to peel off the carrier sheet hot or cold. Next, we're going to be talking about what kind of a shirt should you be pressing your HTV to. Well, the biggest thing to take into consideration is if the shirt is made of a material that is okay for high heat. So your cotton, your polyester, your cotton poly blends, they are going to be great choices because they can withstand a high heat from the application of the HTV. Now, when you start getting into different kinds of blends, those materials may be more heat sensitive, which would require you to do some testing for effectively applying the HTV, but while not melting the material itself. So if you're just starting out, 100% cotton, 100% polyester, or a blend of the two, and you're going to be just fine. All right, now we're going to be talking about the heat press itself. And just like HTV, there's many different kinds and many different brands out there. I'm going to be showing you the StarCraft 15 by 15 inch mint clamshell heat press. Clamshell refers to how the heat press closes together like a clam. So if you're interested in checking out heat presses, I'll throw a link in the description of the video. Now, whatever heat press you do end up going with, some important things to consider are to place it on a very stable and solid surface. Plug it into its own outlet if you can, and make sure that you can comfortably reach the top handle to press it down. You don't want to place it up too high so that you're not able to do that. And then if possible, if you can get access from all three sides of the heat press, that's just going to make life a little bit easier for you as well. It's also a really great idea to place your heat press in a room that has windows and or a ceiling fan because this is going to get hot. And then when you're not using your heat press, you want to store it open. But of course, before you start using any type of heat press, you do want to look over the manufacturer's recommendations as well. And lastly, before we get started on our project, I'm just going to briefly talk about pressing pillows. Pressing pillows are basically, heat resistant foam with some, heat resistant material covering them. And they're designed for getting the flattest surface possible to what you're pressing onto. So we've got a t-shirt, and the t-shirt has seams in it, and seams can interfere with the application process and not allowing the heat press to get that really tight an even amount of pressure while applying the HTV. So when using a pressing pillow, you can help to avoid that, and I'll be showing you how to use a pressing pillow in today's video as well. So let's go ahead and get started. First, before you even turn on the press, you want to adjust the pressure to the appropriate recommendations. At the back of the StarCraft heat press is a knob that you turn, right or left to either increase or decrease the amount of pressure. So if you're using a pressing pillow, then make sure that that's in there while you're adjusting the pressure. And basically what you are looking for is like, how hard does it feel for you to close the press? If it takes some real elbow grease and you got to use 2 hands to close it, that's considered high pressure. Now, if it's relatively easy for you to lock the heat press into place, you can do it with 1 hand, then you're immediately at somewhere between light and medium pressure. And so to find out if you're at light or if you're at medium pressure, here's a little trick that I picked up from Melissa over at the Silhouette School blog. Grab a couple pieces of just regular printer copy paper and place that into the heat press so that half of it is sticking out, and then close the press. And then when you pull on the paper, if the paper doesn't move, then that's medium pressure. If you were able to pull the paper, if it came out a little bit, then that's considered light pressure. With Caesar Easy Weed, you are looking for a medium amount of pressure. And so when you have that, go ahead and turn on the press. When I turn on this StarCraft press, it reverts back to the settings that I used the last time I used it. So depending on what you did, you may not need to adjust the settings every time you turn it on. But anyway, here's how you would do that. Press the set button in the lower left, and then use the up or down arrows to change the settings. The first is the temperature. We set it at 305. The next is the time, which is set to 15 seconds. The next is either Fahrenheit or Celsius. And then the last is just the time in minutes, how long you want the heat press to stay on before it automatically shuts off. Then just hit set to set those settings. And then once the press has reached the correct temperature, go ahead and put the pressing pillow and then the t-shirt on top and then a cover sheet. This is just a piece of parchment paper. And go ahead and do a pre-press. Preheat the garment for about 2 to 3 seconds. And then here's a little trick you can use to center your designs. Fold the t-shirt in half, and then go ahead and put that on the press, fold it in half, cover it with the cover sheet, and then press for about 2 to 3 seconds again. And you're going to have a crease right down the center of the shirt, and you can use that crease as a guideline for placing your design. And so then go ahead and put the pressing pillow inside the shirt. You want to arrange the pressing pillow so that all the seams are hanging off the sides of the pressing pillow. So, you're going to have to adjust it a little bit so that the part that you are applying the HTV to is going to be on the pressing pillow, and then any seams that are around it are going to be hanging off the edge. And then you can see that center crease down the middle. That's going to help me place the design. And if you like the design that I pressed on this shirt, then I also threw a link in the description for this SVG design if you want to check that out as well. Once it's perfectly lined up where you want it, put the cover sheet or the parchment paper back on. You're going to press Easy Weed for 10 to 15 seconds. The machine's going to beep when it's done, and then go ahead and open up the machine and then remove the carrier sheet. And then there you have it, my friends. Pressing your shirt is done. It's ready for you to wear proudly, to send to your friends, your family, or your customers. Do be sure to look up how to care for the garment after it's been pressed with the HTV, and you can usually find that information on the HTV manufacturer's website. But then you got a great looking shirt, so you're going to look great, you're going to feel great, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.